And I am telling you, I'm not going anywhere for the next 20-something minutes because I'm lucky enough to be sitting across from a certain Tony and Grammy-winning legend who's back on the boards playing Shug Avery in The Color Purple. Oh my God, you're Jennifer Holliday.
That's what people say to me in Target.
Is that what you get at Target?
Oh my God, you're
God, I've always wanted to see you at Target. Always wanted to see you at Target. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you, I'm so happy to be here in New York.
I'm wearing purple, you're wearing purple.
Yes.
It's like the color purple in here.
The color purple.
Look what God has done.
Yes. Yes.
I am so thrilled to say that you are back on Broadway.
Thank you.
I got to see you play Shug Avery the other day. You are phenomenal.
Thank you.
How is it? How's it going?
It's going quite well. I'm very happy and excited. Of course, I'm just starting.
Yeah.
So I'm just learning not only my own rhythm, but the different audiences who come and see
Don't worry, I'll be back.
I'm
coming back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm really enjoying myself, having a wonderful time.
I have to tell you, when I first discovered Broadway, back in the late 80s, I was given a VHS tape. There used to be these, before YouTube,
Yes.
there was a VHS tape. And I remember it was like 2 hours of like Broadway must-see clips.
Yes.
And it was all about you. I mean,
thank
and I
you.
remember being introduced to that Tony performance,
Yes.
obviously, and the commercial, the
Yes.
Dreamgirls commercial, that
Yes.
amazing commercial. You are so a part of all of this and why all of this is exciting and just all that talent and enthusiasm. That's why it's all sort of in you right here.
Thank
so
you.
that's why it means a lot that you're here.
Thank
and
you.
Back on Broadway.
Well,
where you
believe it
should
or
be.
not, Dreamgirls was 35 years ago
I know
this year.
is actually, so in December, right? We'll be celebrating
December,
the actual.
The actual.
So you were like starting rehearsals. Right? Well, you'd already done the
No,
workshop.
we were,
You were
back
already-
then you had out of town.
forever.
Yeah, you had
Oh, right.
out of
That's
town
right. You were already
trials. We
deep
did
in
it in
it.
Boston.
You were
So
deep
we were,
in it 35 years ago.
Yeah, so they had, a different setup back then. People did out of town trials. Of
Right.
course, that's very expensive now.
Yeah.
But we were very fortunate that we were in Boston for 3 months prior to coming here.
Yeah. How is Broadway different now than it was when you were that little girl who was about to blow us all away in Dreamgirls, sort of like stomping the streets?
Well, I think that Broadway now is more accessible now.
Yeah.
It's not something that's so foreign to the rest of the world and to the rest of America. And also Broadway is more acceptable to diversity now. I'm always just like to be very honest, that it has evolved itself in terms of being more inclusive and more open arms to new things, not only for African Americans, but Latin Americans, everyone. We're all here. Absolutely. It's like, okay, what has happened to Broadway? So it's a beautiful experience now, but also just to have people think that they can afford to see a Broadway show and know it. And that's a big difference, for people to say, oh, I'm going to come and see the show. Back then, there was no Facebook or Twitter or any of those things. And so to have lived in people's hearts back then, where they carried you home and those memories stayed, stayed with them. So now it's more accessible, and I think that that's what's wonderful about Broadway. I love that they're doing Broadway on television, so that people could see, because back then we weren't allowed to tape as well. We're still not allowed to tape, but still you get a chance to experience Broadway. And right here in Times Square, you can sit out there and they show things on the big screen. I watched the opera the other night from PBS and I was like, this is so cool. I don't know what they're saying, but this is like so cool, to be sitting down here with America watching opera. This is wonderful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you hit on something really interesting. It's like what I said about that VHS tape. Back then, it was work to sort of carry the love of this.
Yes.
And when you talk about your fans and people who carried you in their heart, I mean, that really was.
That really was. And that's how I lasted for all of these generations and decades to be passed on, because people carried me in their hearts. And the show Dreamgirls was also just, very loved, and also just became quite cult-like as well, to be carried through that without any proof. Now you have proof of everything because you got it on the camera, you got it on Twitter, you got it on all these ways of social media. But back then it was word of mouth, and you had to have been there, you had to see it, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I would take pictures with stars of the stage when I had to go get the film developed.
Yep, that's right.
You had to wait. You didn't know what the picture turned out. Picture didn't turn out.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, so let's talk about Color Purple.
Yes.
You have a little bit of a history with the show. You actually did it previously for a brief run as Sophia.
I did, on the road in the national tour. Hell no, Sophia.
And now you are Suge Avery.
Yes.
Now, Suge Avery, she's a sexy creature,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I mean, is it fun that you get to do that?
I'm going to tell you, it's amazing because when the opportunity came and I was asked to audition for the role of Suge Avery, I said to myself, gee, I'm going to be 56 years old. Times have changed, and could I possibly be, sexy enough? Could I possibly bring what Suge needed to do? And I felt only that way because I live down south, and quite a few men think I'm quite attractive. So I was like, maybe I can transfer that up on Broadway.
It's not to like.
Yeah, I said maybe I can transfer that. Maybe it's not a lie that I am quite attractive and have something, of my own sexiness. Yeah. Maybe not what people describe as sexiness, which I don't know what that is. So when I went to audition, I thought about it and didn't know if I would get the part because I did see a lot of people also auditioning that day. Who did not look like me. So I was like, okay, everyone's much younger, much more of a quite visible sex siren, but I feel and I believe that our sexuality as well as our beauty comes from a different place. Yeah. It's not really always just as visual. Visual does help, of course, but it's not always there. It's inside. So I just said, I'm going to go audition. So I came up here to audition and auditioned for the director John Doyle, Scott Sanders, and some of the other producers as well, and the casting director, who also was the one who thought of me to say, okay, let's ask her if she would, be interested. So when they called me to tell me, that I got the job if I wanted it, I was like, yes, Miss Holliday would love to have the job.
Miss Holliday. Yes. Now, John Doyle he's very fancy, because he's he's one of the hot directors right now. He wasn't around when you were doing Dreamgirls.
No, he wasn't.
You know what I mean? So did you kind of have to introduce your talents to him, or is he an Effie White?
Yeah, I did have to audition for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a Dreamgirls fan. He never mentioned it to me, or I never heard anyone mention it.
Which is great because he cast you because of your talent.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I definitely think that, and I think that he cast because of his talent and because of my spirit and heart, because he did, spend time to talk with me about why I would, come and audition and that sort of thing. And, everyone kept saying, well, you're Jennifer Holliday. Why would you go and, have to, be subjected to audition and stuff if he doesn't know, who you are and everything like that. And I said, but I know who he is. I saw the piece. I felt that the piece was integrous enough for me to say I would like to be up there with that type of integrity of acting. My own acting skills are nowhere near there yet, but I was desirous of wanting to be at that level. So my thing was like, yeah, I'll go and I'll audition for him. I know some of his work, and I felt that was enough, worthy enough for me to come and audition.
It must be great that you still feel like there's things to learn.
Oh, it's lots to learn, not only as an actress, but just in life. There's so much to learn. I'm in my third act of my life, and as I said, I'm going to be 56 years old on the 19th of October, and I cannot even tell you how amazing this is to have a new lease on life, not just as a person, a human being, but in my career as well. So I'm very grateful, very grateful.
I've been looking at your social media, and I'm like, look, gosh, she just like beams with like positivity and excitement, and I love that.
Thank you so much.
You are so excited to be here on Broadway doing this.
Yes, I am.
It's funny because Heather Headley was here.
Yes.
I asked her what it was like with Cynthia Erivo.
Yes.
Because watching her sort of have this big moment, just like you did with Dreamgirls and Heather did with Aida, Lolita, and you know, Cynthia's now had, you know, she won a Tony. It's been this sort of big moment. What's it like working with her?
Working with Cynthia Erivo was one of the reasons why I wanted to audition, because I did see it with she and Heather Headley in it. And when I left the performance that evening, I said, wow, what would it be like? Could I even have enough courage to be on a stage that raw, to be that vulnerable, to just let yourself be free, to have the audience experience that kind of pain without any props and costume changes or different things like that. And her level of acting, she reminds me so much of a Cicely Tyson and a Ruby Dee kind of mixed up together, because she has the quickness of a Ruby Dee and preciseness, but then she's got that moments of where she can just own the whole thing. Like Cicely Tyson is like, okay, I own this moment here, and so I will anchor it for the piece as a whole, you know. So she was really one of the reasons why I wanted to just at least see if I could be up there, to learn from her as well, you know, as an actress, to get to her level. I'm nowhere near there now, you know, but I'm hoping that by the end of my 12-week run, I will at least made it where it's comfortable for her to say, well, at least she was able to deliver her moments for me that I needed. You know, I would not like to hinder her anyway. So it's been great, you know, working with her and watching her as well. But she was really part of that equation, because I did not know John Doyle, but I had watched the show and did leave there feeling so inspired and so looking for a challenge as an actress from her performance.
Right. Your voice is phenomenal.
Thank
I mean,
you.
and hearing you sing those songs was so exciting.
Thank you.
Does it come easy for you, your voice, or does it require a lot of maintenance?
No, my voice does come easy, and that's not like a braggadocious kind of thing. It's just that I was born to sing. I tried to do other things besides singing and still ended up singing. So straight out of the Baptist Church Choir, you know, onto the Broadway stage. So I am a Broadway baby as well. My first show was Your Arms Too Short to Box with God.
I know. I want to ask you about Jamie Patterson.
Yes.
So I saw Jamie Patterson is in your bio.
Yes.
Tell everyone who Jamie Patterson is.
Yes, Jamie Patterson is a wonderful dancer who discovered me in Houston, Texas.
Right.
He was in a chorus line and in Cat's touring company.
Okay.
And down in Houston, Texas, he had wanted to go to church on a Sunday. So he knew some other friends who said, hey, you got to go to this church to hear this little girl sing. And afterwards, he said, hey, you've got a really big voice. He said, you would be great on Broadway. Well, I didn't really know what Broadway was. And he said, if I see something for you, would you be open to it? I'm like, yeah, fine. You know, I mean, you know, who's this guy, really? You know, and where is Broadway, really? Right. You know, it sounds very seedy to me. It was like, you know? So anyway, a couple of months later, he did call and he said, there's a show called Your Arms Too Short to Box with God that's going out on what they call a bus and truck. It's going to be eventually national. He said, and I think it would be good for you, the part that you would play, the lady won a Tony Award, Dolores Hall. And, you know, if I think it would be good. And I said, well, first of all, you have to ask my mother, can I come? Because I'm underage. And she's not going to let me go with no man to New York. So I don't know where you're going to get that from. So anyway, he talked to her. She said no. And then he found an aunt who was very religious and everything. Okay. I didn't know if she was real or not, but he convinced my mother. Okay. And so I came to New York, stayed with the aunt, went to the audition, got hired that day, and the rest is history.
I think it says a lot about you that his name is still in your bio.
Oh.
You know, it's really nice to think that, you know, you really remember that moment.
Well, that moment. Well, it is the greatest moment of my life. I mean, even though I auditioned for John Doyle, I've had not to audition for many other things. Wow. And so life has been really good in that regard.
Okay, Shirley Ralph.
Yes.
Just the announcement just came out. She's coming back to Broadway.
I see. Isn't that
Madame
wonderful?
Morrible.
All right then.
Madame Morrible. How exciting!
It's very exciting.
I'm excited to have Dina and Effie both around.
I know. know.
For the anniversary.
I know.
You guys planned that out? You're like, let's get back to Broadway for December.
No, we didn't plan it out. We didn't plan it out, but it's been a wonderful time, I guess, especially for Shirley Ralph and myself as well, because we've always not gotten along. In Dreamgirls, we were younger.
That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, it was a very rough time for us. We were young, and we fought constantly, and it was
what
very
I heard was
ugly.
that I heard her say in an interview that people were pitting you against each other. Is that how you saw it? Like that maybe the creatives were pitting you against each other?
I do see it that way, in the sense that a lot of the backstage things that were going on, the show was originally kind of done for Shirley Ralph, in the sense where when they first did the talks to Michael Bennett and to the Schuberts and stuff, Shirley was there from the beginning. Then when I come along, this scruffy, overweight kid from Texas, and everybody's like, everything turns to her, and then they turns to me, and they just kind of used it. So it was more so me and Michael Bennett against Tom Ian and Shirley.
Got it.
You know, so it was always that kind of thing, and it worked. It worked for the show, for them, but it didn't work for us. We were quite disturbed about it, miserable quite a bit, and it lasted for many, many years. So these years have brought a great healing for us, and we've been able to, you know, get along and generally care about each other, generally see how, you know, our lives move forward. So it's great for both of us.
You talked a lot about your time in Dreamgirls was actually sort of a sad time.
Yes.
And obviously you were struggling with your weight.
Yes.
And with clinical depression.
Yes.
And one thing I found really profound when I was reading an interview with you, you talked about how because you had to sort of protect your voice, you couldn't communicate with people. You know, you talked about how nowadays people can text you just because you're on vocal rest. You can still have complete communication with people nowadays, but back then you really couldn't. That's crazy, and that never even really crossed my mind.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing because back then, you know, wouldn't really start to speak until about 3 o'clock in the day, and you get up and everything. Now you can, you know, there's not just the voice message machine. You can have text through the night. They have email. You know, you can FaceTime with people. You can do a whole bunch of things that you could not do in terms of communicating. And how do we keep our relationships and our friendships and mentally how do you keep not with only one day off, you know, 8 shows a week with 1 day off is sort of an imprisonment. Regardless of the reward, it is a sacrifice. It may not be a sacrifice in the terms of someone else, what they define sacrifice, but it is a sacrifice to say, I only have 1 day off and not really be able to do anything on that day off, but collapse and rest your voice so that you can prepare again for Tuesday night, which comes quickly.
Right. Let's talk about your special relationship with that character.
Yes.
Because it is one of a kind.
Yes.
I mean, and you say, I am Effie White. I mean, you will say that. When you create a role, that's the thing. It's not just an actress given a script and going on stage, and like you with Shug Avery now, right? You're playing the role of Shug Avery. You created Effie White. The ownership is just sort of a human instinct to have that sort of ownership over it. And I know you have to watch, and you've watched other people play the role. And you've played it. You have played it over the years.
Every 5 years.
Are you done now? You're done?
I think I'm done. We'll see. You know, we'll see what the 40th anniversary might be like. Okay. You know, or might do something else again. But every 5, it could be something every 5 years.
But describe that. It's not just a job, right? I mean, because you put your. It actually reminded me. I know you took some heat. People were talking about your face you make when you sing, and I'm telling you, I'm not going. American Idol, right? Yes. And you said that you're playing, like in your head, you're doing what we saw in the Tony Awards. You're doing Effie White. Anyone who knows your Broadway performance as Effie White knows exactly you're Effie White completely when you do that song. So it just reminded me of how 1,000% it is when you do it. You're not ever just singing that song.
Well, if you think about it, and like I said, there was no social media of anything like that back then. Right. So a lot of people didn't even know where And I'm Telling You came from. Yeah. They knew that there was a great song. Yeah, because they actually never knew that it was from a character. Right, exactly. You know, they didn't know that it was from a Broadway show. Right. And so they saw the Tony Awards. that kind of put it together.
Yeah.
So for me, whenever I performed the song, it was still always just like performing the character Effie.
Right, of course.
And the only way for me to create it new each time, and the reason why I can, you know, still sing it after all of these years, was to go to another place. Not to say, look, this Jennifer Holliday showing off and calculated notes, calculated riffs. This, here's where I do this and they applaud, or here's where I do this and they, you know, so I would have to go to another place. So it wasn't until American Idol that I realized that we were in a different time, that I didn't even really know about my facial expression until I got so much negative you know, comments and so many, you know, mean things that people were saying about the way my face looked. And they were like, well, does it take all of that to sing a song and da-da-da, you know? But then I look now at some of the younger people, and when they're singing some of their songs and stuff, they have to go there too. They have to do the ugly face too, especially if they want to win American Idol or Voice or whatever. They get real ugly. So who talking about that now? You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, they went off on me then, but now when they need to win, they getting ugly. So do the Jennifer Holliday ugly face, baby, and win $100,000. Okay.
You're hilarious. I love it. And obviously you watched the whole Jennifer Hudson thing, and of course Jennifer Hudson played Suge Avery. She played this track.
Yes.
And now Amber Riley is about to do Effie White.
Yes, in London.
Is it any easier when you see new actresses play it, or
it's easy all the time. It's easy all the time because.
And I know you said actually that all the attention on Jennifer Hudson actually brought so much attention to you because everyone started finding out about the original.
Everybody, all these young people. Had it not been for the movie, then I would have never been found. Had it not been for a young man posting on Facebook the performance of the Tony Awards, people wouldn't have never known that Dreamgirls had been done before. So he was the first. I'll never forget his name. His name is R. Keith Bullock.
Wow.
And so I always thank him as well.
That's amazing.
Because I was not social media inclined at that time.
He brought you into social media.
He posted that Tony Award. So many people had forgotten about that clip and had not seen it.
We never forgot about it around here.
Yeah, so the young people said, wait a minute, someone did this before? Well, where's that lady? You know, so a lot of people had thought I'd kind of disappeared. Even people had thought I died.
And then they saw you and they said, that's not her.
And then they saw me and they said, that's not me. I was unrecognizable. So, you know, so it went through all of its, you know, its stages and its changes. But the greatest thing for me about watching people perform the song, be it Jennifer Hudson, Amber Riley, any of them, is that I could have created something that would bring so much goodness toward people who hear the song. I try to let whatever people want for that song be. You know, it's a great love song, but it's also a triumphant song. So the thing for me about watching anyone who sing it, regardless of whether they're excellent, when they really nail the song and find their own thing and make it wonderful, or even when they're off key and totally out, the thing that it instills courage in a person to want to be a winner. So it's almost like when I had enough courage to say, you know what, I'm going to go audition for Suge. You know, I'm just going to go and just see, even if the director says no.
Right.
I got that from watching people try to sing my stuff to say, I want to win. And if I think I'm going to win, I'm going to sing a Jennifer Holliday song, and I'm going to sing the Jennifer Holliday song. And I'm going to go after whatever thing I have. I don't, some people say I sing flat, some people say I don't, whatever, but I'm going to go. And so to me, to watch that and to know that I had a part of creating, I'm so glad, you know, that people still find me relevant. I'm so glad that the song is now their song. So I never not sing the song. I never charge, you know, people more to hear the song in concert. Right. It is their song and it belongs to them. So it's not mine to say that I would never sing it for them. And it's not mine to say how they should feel about it or respond about it. A lot of people, you know, break up, it's their song. A lot of people lost a loved one. It's their song that they put on. So whatever it means to them, I'm very grateful.
I meant to ask you about multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
You have MS.
Yes.
So what does that actually mean for your performing life? What's harder for you, or what does that actually mean in your day-to-day?
Well, in my day-to-day, I have to deal with a great amount of pain.
Yeah.
When I was first diagnosed, I was in Ally McBeal on TV.
Yeah.
So that was very difficult. I have been unable to walk. I have been blind twice.
Wow.
And in 2007, I was blind right here at the New York Eye Infirmary. And at that time, they thought that my sight would not come back.
Oh my
so
God.
it's no cure for the illness. It's unpredictable. So every day that I wake up and I can do a checklist, I see, I can walk, I try to just go on and make the best of that, that day. And it is an unpredictable illness. The only thing I'm concerned about is that more people are being diagnosed with it, and more younger people are being diagnosed with it, and more men now, more men. And so I don't know if they have lost in terms of how they're trying to find out more research about it. So hopefully, you know, they'll get more funding and can find out more, because they still really don't know about it. The medications have changed. I'm not on any medication. I just basically deal with the pain and try to get through it, because I don't want to miss any of life. So I want to just listen to my body, have control of it. I take control of that. And so I guess that's why I try to stay as positive as I can, and that helps with the day-to-day of it.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So you want to do more Broadway?
I think that I would like to do more Broadway if I could do an original piece again. You know, I do think that now that they are beginning to start to take chances of writing original pieces, but that is hard, I know. And I know that it's easier for them to take, you know, movies and make musicals or do revivals and things. And I know that that's probably easier for them right now. But I do think that there's so many places now on Broadway, you know, that there's off-Broadway, off-Broadway. Now they've expanded theaters across 9th Avenue, even 10th Avenue. So I do think now they could do original things and then move them up like the old days. You know, that's what they used to do. You did off-Broadway, you got a chance to move to Broadway. It's expensive, but now I think you have more chances. So I would like to do it if someone could think of something original for me. I can't think of anything right now, you know, but if someone could think of something, I would like it.
I'm going to think of some stuff.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Now, as you already mentioned, I knew you were coming. And you already mentioned October 19th.
Yes.
This interview is actually going to run on October 19th. So let's just call that today.
Okay.
Today's your birthday.
Yes.
Today's your birthday.
Yes.
And I just, if you give me 1 minute here. I have for you.
Oh.
These are for you from all your friends at Broadway.com.
Oh,
I hope you noticed the color.
Oh,
the color purple.
Thank you so much. This is so beautiful.
They look beautiful with your outfit. And I just wanted to acknowledge your birthday. And we're so thrilled that you are on Broadway for your birthday.
Thank you so
You're
much.
Absolutely.
This is
what are you going to do on your birthday?
I've got 2 shows.
2 shows.
So I'll be singing. I'll be singing twice.
She'll be
all
singing.
Day.
Singing.
All
She'll be
day.
singing.
So maybe I could celebrate the weekend.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, enjoy the flowers. I hope they look good in
you.
your dressing room.
Thank you.
And
they will.
Thank you so much for being here. It was a real treat.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again soon.
Well, I hope so too. And one thing I just wanted to say quickly, and I know that, you know, we're running out of time. I just want to encourage people that at any point in their life, and no matter what they're going through, go inside deeper and find a courage that you may have never known before, because you don't know what's ahead of you. I may not be the best Shug Avery or the right Shug Avery, even for this role, but I'm the right person for this moment in my life. And I think I'm the right person for this moment in the show's life, The Color Purple. And so therefore, you meet every challenge with everything that you have, every 100%. I'm totally committed. Once you sign on sign on with all your heart and your passion. Give it everything you have, and then you don't know what lies before you then. I don't make a lot of plans because I cannot, you know, because each day I have to wake up and I don't know what my day's going to be like. So I don't book past 3 months, 6 months, a year, because I don't know. A lot of people have made plans and they're dead. That's all I got to say. But if you have a moment and you wake up and everything seems like you can get started, then go ahead and find the courage to get started, because you don't know what wonderful things, by your courage and your believing in yourself and saying, I have something to offer the world, you know, and no matter what age and no matter what you're going through, that there's still a dream out there with your name on it. We have to dream new dreams, because today, in our world today, you know, you can go to college and get out of college and they don't even have that field anymore by the time you finish. You know, you can try to do a whole lot of things. The thing is, though, you have to say, today is gonna have to be my day, and regardless of what's wrong with everything around me, try to find that one little thing that's right. That one little thing that's right. And I may not be the right person for Sugar Avery. A lot of people may have seen it already and say, well...
You need to stop saying that, because I saw it.
Well, I'm just saying... Well, I don't know. I'm just saying, you know, I just know that I'm right for this moment in my life. And I'm right for this moment in the Color Purple's life. And who knows what will go from there. And then I'll make plans, you know. But right now, I commit to this and give it my heart. And then we make plans after that, you know. Yeah. Yes.
You're a total inspiration.
Thank you.
And it's such a thrill to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And everyone needs to go see The Color Purple, starring Jennifer Holliday. And through what, January 8th?
January 8th.
January 8th, everybody. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.